Welcome to the Wrestling Replay. I am Cato. Welcome to episode number 46. First and foremost, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Hope you all got to enjoy time with your friends and family. And if you don't like your friends or family, at least you had WWE Survivor Series WarGames to watch and really take your mind off being around the loved ones that you don't really like. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and jump into Survivor Series 2022. The WarGames edition. I like how they introduced WarGames into Survivor Series. The only little tidbit I might, be upset about is the fact that NXT kind of built WarGames. The WWE version of WarGames. NXT, that was like their staple. And now, it's on the main roster. But for the most part, if you look at the women's match, it's actually a lot of women that participated in NXT WarGames in this matchup. And maybe that's why I think that this matchup was actually better than the men's WarGames match. I said it. Hot take. There you go. Soon as we start the show. So we got Team Bianca Belair teaming up with Becky Lynch, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, and Mia Yim, taking on Damage Control with Rhea Ripley in their corner, and Nikki Cross also joining, and she's kind of a wild card. I feel like she's just kind of doing her own thing, like in Nomad's land right now. But this matchup, especially to start the pay-per-view, that's really big for me, was really, really good. And I found myself as an entertainment factor enjoying this matchup more than I did the men's WarGames matchup. I also like the fact that you kind of really didn't know who was going to win. But hey, you got Bianca Belair, who doesn't lose too often. And then you got Becky Lynch making a comeback. They're not supposed to lose. But either way, man, this matchup was still a really good matchup. And I like the fact more so that leading up to this WarGame matchup, when you had Damage Control trying to get Mia Yim to join their team for Survivor Series, to join their crew for WarGames, you got a little bit more information of why actually Damage Control got together in the first place. We've only been waiting for months for us to really hear a real explanation of why these three women, of all women, were the one to form Damage Control. And they kind of felt like they were the forgotten ones, or the ones who was left out, or the afterthoughts. And I'm like, okay, I can get behind that. Bayley is kind of the afterthought to Sasha Banks and the Charlotte Flairs and the Becky Lynches, and hell, I think the other two was on the couch. Dakota Kai was fired. Io Sky didn't really have a job or no real direction, even when she was in NXT. So I like kind of now that we can really put a story right there together with those three women. Thought that made for a better explanation of why Damage Control is together. Our next match of the night, we got to see AJ Styles versus Finn Balor. Pretty cool matchup. I thought it was going to be a little bit more. It was a really good match. Not to get me wrong, but I feel like this is a matchup I could have watched on Monday Night Raw and the main event and been thoroughly entertained. And for us to have this match on Survivor Series, I would at least like it to be a trios match. If you're not going to do the traditional 4, have a traditional match where it's just 3-on-3 and, elimination kind of rules and the last man of the team wins. I felt like that would have been a little bit better, but it was still a really good matchup between AJ Styles and Finn Balor. A lot of history between those two. So I like how they intertwined everything leading up to this matchup and finally having it climax at Survivor Series. So I thought that was pretty cool how they at least built towards this match. Now, as far as the OC, I'm still curious is if the OC is going to be here to stay for the long run, because they have yet to really make their impact on the tag team division. And if we're going to have a team like the OC, I would think for it to be to help boost my tag team division. Right now it's kind of dry. Outside the Usos, the New Day is always going to be relevant. Now we got the Brutes kind of in the situation. It's really only about maybe 4 or 5 teams. I like Imperium. I think eventually they're going to get their time to shine. But I feel like on Monday Night Raw, the OC is really the only legit tag team I really see. I know we got the Alpha Academy, but I don't see those guys winning the tag team championships from the Usos. I don't see those guys with a long run with the tag team championships. Absolutely not. So I hope the OC will be that change that Monday Night Raw needs to the tag team division, and that division start to grow a little bit more on Monday Night Raw. Now, if you haven't already, please go ahead and mash that like button, hit subscribe. This is our Cyber Monday deal. It's really no deal at all. It's just really you just liking my channel and helping me out in the algorithm. That's about it. But if you do want our giveaways, make sure you go to the Wrestling Replay on Instagram. We're going to have a really cool giveaway for Christmas time. I don't know if it's going to be cash card or if it's going to be a gift card to maybe Shop WWE, maybe to Wrestling Tees, like who knows. But make sure you're following us at the Wrestling Replay on Instagram to make sure you're getting the latest deals and giveaways that we're giving away. Now, let's go ahead and move on to this WWE SmackDown Women's Championship match between Ronda Rousey and Shotzi. Yeah, that's about as exciting as this matchup was. Ronda just, I feel like it's Ronda. It's got to be Ronda, right? It's got to be Ronda. Ronda, there's times where I praise her and I think she's doing great. I'm like, oh, she's getting better. She's really coming along as a wrestler inside the wrestling ring and really putting the pieces together. And then you get matches like these where it's like, do you guys even talk to each other before the match? Do you like each other? Like, have you ever seen each other, meet each other in life outside of this very moment? It felt like they were trying to call a match on the fly, but neither one has ever called a match on the fly before. This matchup was terrible. I wouldn't even put this matchup on SmackDown. Like, are you guys wrestling in the dark matches to kind of build some chemistry together? Or do you guys have real hatred for each other? Like, this matchup was horrible, man. Really bad matchup. Really brought down, I feel like, the tone of what the Survivor Series matchup was. Luckily for them, it was at a good spot where it's like, okay, we need to calm the crowd down anyway, right before we bring it back up with this United States Championship match with Seth Rollins, Bobby Lashley, and Austin Theory. This matchup was absolutely awesome. And it was another matchup where you really didn't know who was going to win, right? You got Bobby Lashley. He putting a hurt lock on both guys. You got Austin Theory, who's been telling you, I'm going to be the United States champion leading up to this. You got Seth Rollins, who's having a great time right now, killing his role as the United States champion, and is really fitting. So either guy could honestly walk away with the United States championship. Now, it was Austin Theory who actually managed to get the pin on Seth Rollins. That's pretty big. One, because you pinned the champion. But it did come from the assist of a Bobby Lashley spear. But where do we go with Austin Theory? You cash in your Money in the Bank briefcase, and you lose to Seth Rollins. Then you go into this championship matchup, triple threat match, and you're going on to win. Are we building a storyline between Seth Rollins and Austin Theory? Or for me, who I really think it is anyway, Cody Rhodes coming back and Austin Theory. Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, I feel like their feud has already ran its course. I think we will revisit that feud when Seth Rollins goes, hey, well, actually, that was my title. And that's the title I want now. I'm not really going after the world title anymore. That's my title now. And I think we'll probably revisit that feud either at WrestleMania or shortly after WrestleMania. I wouldn't be surprised to see Cody appear maybe at the Rumble or right after the Rumble, and we get a nice feud between Austin Theory and Cody Rhodes. That's going to be dope. But in the meantime, what's going to happen with guys like Bobby Lashley and Seth Rollins? Can Austin Theory go out there and defeat these guys one-on-one? He hasn't been able to do it yet. So can he go out there and defeat Bobby Lashley or Seth Rollins when he has to actually defend his U.S. championship? Everyone thought that Austin was getting kind of thrown under the bus when he lost his Money in the Bank briefcase. And now he has the championship. So they kind of keep us on a roller coaster. Like, you don't really know what they want to do with Austin Theory. So it's going to be interesting to see who he feuds with first. Bobby, who helped him win the championship, or Seth Rollins, who was the rightful champion at the time. That matchup was really dope, dog. Really good matchup between those three guys. Really left it all out there at Survivor Series. Now for our main event. Okay, I did say the women's matchup was better than the men's as far as action went, right? But as far as storyline and emotion and drawing you in, this matchup was head over heels the best matchup, right? So If you want to judge it from the action, watch the women. You want to judge it from more of an emotion, storylines, and just advancement, I gotta say it's the men's. Now, maybe it's the fact that I watched the women's match first and that came on first. And maybe if I watched the men's match first, I might have a different take on everything. But you got the Bloodline going against the Brutes, teaming up with Drew McIntyre, teaming up with Kevin Owens. Now, inside this matchup, look at all these different storylines you have going on. You have Sami Zayn and Jey's storyline. You have the advancement of as the Bloodline as a whole storyline. You have Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. You have the Brutes trying to get, gain another title shot against the Usos for the tag team championships. That's another storyline you have going on. So it's a lot of different pieces kind of moving around, and all inside this matchup that seems to climax at the very end of the match. That's fire. So at the end of the matchup, we did see Sami really pick a side. He chose to remain true to the Bloodline. He left Kevin Owens out there. He served them up to Jey. More importantly, the guy he was also feuding with, he served his best friend, Kevin Owens, to the guy he was feuding with. Where do I think we're going next? Perfect. I thought you would never ask. So, what I see now, Sami Zayn is all the way in with the Bloodline, right? But what does that do with Kevin Owens taking the pin and Kevin Owens being served up? That's going to piss Kevin Owens off. So I don't think his mission will now be a championship. For right now, that's going to be pushed to the side. And his real mission is going to be getting revenge on everybody in the Bloodline, starting with the Usos. And that's probably going to be where it starts and ends at the same time. Of course, he's going to come at Sami Zayn first. You know, you kind of left me out there. You served me up. We were best friends. What happened to you? You're serving the tribal chief. Like, Kevin Owens is going to get into Sami Zayn's head. That's going to definitely happen. So what I think is going to happen next is we're going to get an issue between Kevin Owens and the Usos. Mainly Jey. Jey is going to be the one sticking up for Sami Zayn, saying, hey, you stop talking to him like that. He's one of us now. Back off. And that's going to be the feud between Jey and Kevin Owens, which is going to be absolutely amazing. Jey has hit his superstar mode once he had that feud with Roman Reigns in Hell in a Cell. To me, main event Jey is here to stay. That's going to be awesome. Next, we're going to get an issue where the Usos are double teaming and constantly screwing over Kevin Owens to the point that Sam's going to say, hey, leave the guy alone, okay? Like, he's had enough. It's over. It's done. And Jimmy is going to be the one to look at Sami with the side eye and say, are you one of us or are you not? And that's going to be the real dynamic because Sami and Jey has always seen eye to eye. Sami and Jimmy, has always seen eye to eye. Sami and Jey has always had the issue. Now with Jey being the one finally accepting Sami into the family, into the Bloodline, Jimmy is going to be the one saying, hey, I don't like the fact that you took up for Kevin Owens. You know what I'm saying? This is what we do over here, Oos. And if you don't like it, then you can roll. And I think that's going to be when Sami roll. I think that's when Sami's going to finally, I'm not going to say turn on the Bloodline, but that's when he's going to choose Kevin Owens over the Bloodline, if that makes any sense. I can see a situation where you got the Usos and Solo beating down Kevin Owens, and Sami just kind of just can't do it no more. Can't put up with it anymore. And he's going to show his true colors and his true alliance, and that is to his best friend. That's where his loyalty really lies. And he's going to come and save Kevin Owens. WrestleMania, we get Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Tag Team Championships versus the Usos. They're going to be the ones to end the Uso streak. They're going to be the ones to take those tag team titles off of the Bloodline, and that's when we're going to start to finally see the Bloodline start to crumble a little bit. If we do get The Rock and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania like everyone's anticipating, I really hope that The Rock does not come to Royal Rumble, because he would actually ruin the Royal Rumble. If he's inside the Royal Rumble, it's all but saying, hey, The Rock is going to win. And if he doesn't win and he's in the Royal Rumble, the crowd is going to go nuts that The Rock didn't win. So I hope they do not put The Rock in the Royal Rumble and somehow find a way that The Rock can face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania for that championship, or Roman has to drop the title before WrestleMania. Don't really see that happening, but I don't want to see The Rock in the Royal Rumble. I don't want the Royal Rumble winner to be wasted in that way. You know what I'm saying? I don't want it to be so obvious of who the winner is going to be. It's too many guys coming back at that time that can actually look like they can go and face Roman one-on-one. So if we do get The Rock and Roman at WrestleMania, I think Roman will go over The Rock. But at that point is where the foundation will crumble. Now, we're smart. We save The Rock and Roman Reigns for something like SummerSlam, where Roman can go face the winner of the Royal Rumble at WrestleMania, steamroll him, and then now from WrestleMania up until SummerSlam, we can build to The Rock and Roman Reigns with The Rock going over Roman at SummerSlam. Sucks, but someone has to beat him, and I think the right person is The Rock. If you want to put the title on The Rock, I'm pretty sure he's only going to be there for maybe 2-3 months at best. And it's going to be a situation kind of like Brock Lesnar. I'm not going to see my champion week in and week out or anything like that. But when I do see him, it's going to be a spectacle. And every event up until that point of us fighting again for the rematch and him dropping the title, it's going to be sold out with hopes of seeing The Rock live. So that's my take on the whole situation. Rock and Roman at SummerSlam, not at WrestleMania. That's how I think it's going to go. But as far as this matchup, really great matchup, really great storytelling, really great advancement. I'm dying to see if Sami Zayn pops up at Monday Night Raw to tell Kevin Owens, yo, my bad, dog. Like, I didn't want to do that to you. Or if you're going to see Kevin Owens pop up on SmackDown. Either way, these two have to interact. It's not over. So, another cliffhanger. I want to see where Bianca Belair goes next. Now we have Becky Lynch back in the fold. I want to see actually Ronda Rousey drop this title, man. Like, it has to be somebody on SmackDown, which it was Becky Lynch, to go to SmackDown and take that title from Ronda Rousey, because one, SmackDown needs that boost that Becky Lynch can bring, and two, they need a champion that people are going to cheer for and that's going to put on great matches night in and night out. And number two, I really want to see Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey win the tag team championships from Damage Control at some point. Even though right now is not the time, because Damage Control, those titles are making Damage Control. They're making these three women relevant for the fact that these title gives Damage Control kind of what they think they have already. Control over things. So at least if they have the women's tag team championship, they can control who they face, the outcome of these matches, things like that, up until Bayley finally gets her singles championship, and then we can drop the tag team titles, maybe let Ronda and Shayna take it at that point in time. But I think Ronda will be best in a tag team, where Shayna can do most of the in-ring work, and you can still have the star power of someone like Ronda Rousey standing beside you and holding those tag team championships. It's kind of like the best of both worlds. You know what I mean? But that's my take on everything. Love Survivor Series WarGames. I think next year will be even better. I like the fact that they kind of got away from the traditional matchup that you would see in Survivor Series, even though I think that Judgment Day and the OC could have put on that matchup for us. They didn't. Fine, all cool, don't mind. But all in all, Survivor Series was a really good pay-per-view, man. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that the last matchup was bad or by any means. It was a really great matchup. I just feel as far as the action goes, the women kind of got it on this one. But next year should be even better. Hopefully they somehow incorporate NXT into Survivor Series. Maybe give us 3 WarGames matchup. Maybe give us a mismatch of, 5 random guys and 5 random guys, all from different brands. I don't know. Just mix it up a little bit. I think that would be cool, because NXT, if I'm not going to get the NXT WarGames experience and it's going to be on Survivor Series now, why not bring it all together and make it one big pay-per-view? I mean, Survivor Series is one of the staples of WWE. So, let's make that happen. But that's everything that pretty much went down. Can't wait to see what take place on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown this week. So I'll be right back with the Monday Night Raw video. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. See you guys next time. I'm Cato. I'm signing out. Peace.